What up, y'all? It is Jamba here with another video. So, if you've been on the internet, you've had to have seen Cat Williams's comments on Kevin Hart. I mean, y'all know, y'all done seen it. I don't have to explain it. I have not watched this, which is Kevin Hart's response to Cat Williams's comments. I know he did a tweet. He tweeted, tweet. He tweeted about it, where he also plugged his new film, which I'm watching the beginning of this movie called Lift on Netflix. This is not a ad or anything for a plugger for it. I'm not associated. I'm watching it. It's okay. I'll be honest with you, it's not really all that great, but it looks decent enough. It's like a Friday Netflix BS movie, so probably gonna heat up some popcorn and finish it. Um, yeah. So how do I feel about Kevin Hart in relation to Cat Williams and just in general? I mean, I think he's a hardworking guy. I think that I know can't Cat Williams called him a plant. I will say I know for a fact that this guy works very hard, so I will give him his props and respect on that. And he done built himself a damn empire, um, and I pitched to Kevin Hart's company and all that. Um, eh, but I mean, I think Cat is probably the better comedian. Kevin does have a more you know, impressive resume from a box office standpoint, obviously. So I mean, you can't really necessarily compare careers. I think Cat has dominated in a way. I mean, Kevin has also dominated comedy. I mean, it's hard to say overall. I mean, I think they're both amazing um in what they do, to in some facets or what would have you. Um But I don't know. I look. I did post a clip. I posted a clip on my IG, and we're gonna get into the video. I posted a clip on my IG, and it was a very rare clip of Kevin Hart and Cat Williams doing a skit together. It was called Mo Dollars. You should look it up. And it was a relatively. I mean, I'm not sure how old it was. It kind of seemed like it wasn't real, like it was AI. I'm like, they did a skit together, and it was funny. And it kind of makes me kind of wish that that these two guys weren't like at odds or just weren't rivals or whatever you want to call it. Like I kind of want to live in that universe where Cat Williams and Kevin Hart do a buddy friggin' road trip movie together or kind of something like you like that would be amazing. I know Kevin Hart was planning to do a movie with Will Smith. I think that would be great as well. I just would love. I mean, I know despite like the controversy and the like the chatter and the the back and forth and all this other stuff and what these comedians are talking about, I like it and I prefer it when we're working when they're working together, when black comedians are able to kind of get together and make great things like the Fridays and the movies like a Harlem Nights and Barbershop. And I just just that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more black comedians, specifically black men, work with each other, make great funny stuff together. We don't really have that many funny black comedies anymore. It's been a while since we've had them, especially at their heyday. So we're 3 minutes in. We haven't started this video. This is about a 1 minute and 58-second video. Let's see what Mr. Hart has to say.
In my opinion, there's nobody on the planet who promotes films the way you do. There's something about your work ethic and the way you promote films, even to a point where you'll tweet out a response like to the Cat Williams situation while promoting. There's something about your work ethic and the way.
I know reporters gotta like, you know, this is the actor's butthole, and they gotta be like, I get it. You know, Tom Cruise was promoting super heavy, Will Smith back in the day. I'm not saying Kevin Hart is not promoting his films and doing what he's supposed to do, but I don't know. People just be saying fucking anything. But let's rewind it.
Nobody on the planet who promotes films the way.
Nobody on the planet. It's just so like hyperbolic. I'm not trying to crap on Kevin Hart. I know that he does work hard and all that, but it's just stuff like that. Like it's kind of, I don't know.
way you do. There's something about your work ethic and the way you promote films, even to a point where you'll tweet out a response like to the Cat Williams situation while promoting your movie, which I thought was
Yes.
Let's quickly read what Kevin Hart said here. Got to get that anger out your champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. This is a moment in the trailer where uh, um, one of the actresses says, "They really love you." I now know she's talking about Katt. Mark your calendars, world. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was an opportunity for him to promote the movie. Mm. Was it? What did it make me laugh though? No, I guess I don't know. Um, yeah,
response like to the Cat Williams situation while promoting your movie, which I thought was
Yes.
a brilliant way to do it. You could have also responded with a Mark Twain link because you're getting the Mark Twain prize here in March. But I just wanted to get your perspective on that. I feel like you always respond positively to negative situations, and I wonder your perspective on that and kind of. I know your grind. I've been interviewing you for years, Kevin. I know you work really hard.
yeah. You've been for years. Just Kevin. I'm sorry. I don't want to shit on reporters. I know y'all work hard too, but damn.
But what's your perspective on that and your response to that situation?
I said it, and this sums it up well. Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. A lion's riding a bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't.
So he's basically, I guess, alluding that Cat Williams is a circus or that it's okay.
Don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous amount of logic to just go and possibly do research or fact check. And if they do, then great. If they don't, then kudos to that as well. I just don't have the time for it. There's too much going on. So to your point,
Yeah, but you still tweeted about it. I guess. Yeah, you can't say that you had the time for it, but I don't know. Let's be honest. He didn't. He more than likely didn't tweet that. It was a fucking intern who did it. He probably told the intern to do it. So what he's saying probably does make sense because he probably didn't take the 15 seconds to type all that shit out. So yeah.
while marketing and promoting a movie, I think the biggest priority for me is getting my fan base to understand how excited I am about the work that I put into this, because that's where my focus is getting eyeballs to the thing that took me about 4 months to shoot and even longer to develop and produce, and something I'm significantly proud of. And I owe it to my team.
I'm watching the movie, by the way, and this is not going to be like a backdoor review of this movie, Lift. Kevin Hart is like fine so far. I'll be honest with you. I don't, as I'm watching it, I don't buy him as this. I don't. Kevin Hart will sometimes put him in roles where I'm like, I don't, man, I want to buy you in this role, but you're just kind of forcing yourself to kind of be in this leading man position. Where when you watch and I haven't even seen the Ocean's movies, but I've seen clips of them. Like when you watch what's that George Clooney, the guy who be always bobbing his head when he fucking says his lines. George Clooney, you look at George Clooney and how he talks with that little, like, y'all know what George Clooney be doing. Um, I believe him as the boss, I believe him as the mastermind behind a group of thieves. Like that makes sense to me because of how smooth he is, like and how he just has a way about him, and Brad Pitt and Matt. Like I can see it, right? And even take something like it's not a well received movie critically, but even take a movie a little known movie called a friend of my family directed it. Oh shit, Takers. Like Idris Elba in Takers. You kind of you buy Idris as that him and who else is in the movie? Paul Walker. I can, Paul Walker was, God rest his soul, a little stiff, but I can even buy him in that role. Kevin Hart, and it's not the height. I think he's pretty good. I just and I'm not trying to say that he should just stick to the being the comedic guy. I'm just not buying him as like the smooth con man. I see him as a guy maybe either being conned, or maybe he's like the tech guy, or maybe he's like the guy with the headset and it's like typing. Like I see Kevin Hart being, if y'all see Mission Impossible, the guy who plays Benji, Simon Pegg, I see Kevin Hart as more of a black Benji as opposed to a black Danny Ocean. Now, I think, look, man, he's big. This guy's worth almost $1 billion, whatever the fuck. So if he can make movies and put himself as the head guy, and he wants to have, the leading man status, then absolutely do his thing. I'm all for it. But in terms of me watching it as a viewer, I'm just not really buying into it. Even Will Smith in the movie, and I've only seen it one time, but even when he did the movie Focus, I believed it. Like there's just some people who are leading men and can play these certain types of roles in a way where I and other people can buy it, and there's just everyone else who kind of can't do that, you know. And but yeah, look, he should look. I think he should keep pumping out these movies. But however, I think the one thing that Katt will have, somebody like a Katt will have in the movie space over a Kevin, is that to me, Katt Williams has a classic character that he did damn near 20 years ago, Money Mike, that people who've seen the Friday movies will always remember. And Kevin Hart, as many movies as he's done, he doesn't really, this has been my biggest criticism of his, he doesn't really have, like, at least to my recollection, a Kevin Hart classic character. Like Jim Carrey, amazing. What does Jim Carrey have? He has Ace Ventura, A Liar Liar, The Cable Guy, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. I don't know if I said Dumb and Dumber. Like he has like at least like those 4 or 5. Will Ferrell has like the guy from Talladega Nights. He has, Ron Burgundy. He has even though I'm not a big fan, but the Step Brothers guy, I guess. And they're all kind of, little, similar in that they're all kind of like, man children in a sense. But Kevin Hart, I can't think of that role that he did. We're like, damn, Kevin. I would say my favorite role of his so far, and it was only from one scene, and I'll keep playing the video. The video itself is not that interesting to me, to be honest. The one role that Kevin Hart did that's probably his funniest, because it just felt so kind of real, like he was actually acting, and but it was funny, was the deleted scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin. And this is the reason why I don't think that Kevin was a plant necessarily, because he was working with Judd Apatow way back in the day. But he did this role with him and Romani Falco, I believe is his name. I think that's his name. The other black dude, the only other black dude in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and they were kind of going back and forth and talking about gangbanging, and it got very stereotypically black. It was a funny scene though. It was a very funny scene, but that was in the unrated version. Anyways, long tangent. Let's finish this thing up.
At Heartbeat, and to my fans, to deliver the material in the best possible manner. So that's it for me. That's the focus. Anything else outside of those things, they don't really get an inkling of I guess you say, what's the word?
Attention or
engagement. Attention,
yeah.
Yes.
I record.
That makes sense. I can't fault, who's this weird guy? I can't fault Kevin Hart for that, for just not engaging. It's not really in his best interest to do it, I don't think. And I think fundamentally Katt Williams and Kevin Hart are just probably just two, even though they're both in the same industry and they both kind of have some crossover. They're just, and I haven't had this recently with other people I've been around. It's just sometimes you're just very different people, and it just, even in the way in which Kevin kind of talks and asserts himself, and how he sort of moves in Hollywood and how him and Katt are they're just very different people. Very different. Very different. Very different. You know, I think Kevin is a lot more about getting. I'm not gonna say getting the bag. He's just. I think his priorities are just are seemingly kind of different. You know, I think they have a lot in common, but those sometimes you can have a lot of common with people, but sometimes if there's key things fundamentally with your values that are different or opposing, you're just not gonna be able to fuck with that person. And I think these two comedians, Kevin Hart and why is this guy on my screen?
Recorded this entire vlog without
Oh
even
my
looking into the
God.
camera. In fact, I was looking off at the camera screen for the entire time.
That fucking ad. Okay. What was I saying? Messed up my train of thought. Oh, I was saying that for somebody as big as Kevin Hart and Katt Williams, these are just two people who are just too big to, I guess, to coexist in some ways peacefully. But anyways, like the video, comment if you want to, subscribe. You should have already subscribed already. So if you haven't, then shame on you.